Hey guys, Ray971 here. Back with you for a garden update, let you see what's going on. I got the greenhouse raised. I put on 5-foot extenders and got the bad boy up, and now I can start trellising. Let me bring you in and show you what it looks like. Now, I've run wood stakes across the beds, and then I tied off with string, and then I've got the trellis clips. And what I've done is I've pruned every branch coming up to the first set of blossoms. What this does is it's getting the limbs off of the ground, it's allowing airflow, and it also sends that energy. The first thing it hits is the blossoms, so it can work on those. And I have got blossoms all over on these bad boys. But then I've got my trellis string going up to the top of the purlins, and I've left more string so that as they grow I can release the string, let it down, and maybe get a little more production out of them. But the tomatoes are looking really good. I've got just under a third of the tomatoes trellised, and I've got a few more to go. But man, these things are growing like crazy. Now, I've gone ahead and taken the black jugs out of the beds. I've had a lot of people ask me, what are the black jugs for? And we use those during the cold. During the day, the sun would heat the jugs up. At night, it would slow release the heat. The jugs are full of water, painted black. And I went over that in a video in the past, but a lot of people have been asking that's what it was for. We actually had snow up in northwest Arkansas on May 4th. If there's ever going to be a cold day in July, I believe it could be this year. But spring has finally taken over, so we got the old greenhouse raised up. I still got to do the other one, and for a size comparison, you can see over here how tall the beds were, and now how tall they are now. We've got sugar peas also coming up in the buckets that we planted. Looking good there. And we got them coming up over here. In our squash and zucchini bed, they're doing real good. We've added some extra flowers to the bed to encourage pollinators. Looking real good there. Got the cauliflower going and growing. Strawberries still happy. And then we got our pepper plants. Where the tomato jungle ends, the pepper one begins. A little better spacing over here. Once I get these tomatoes pruned though, from the ground up to the first bloom, there'll be plenty of airflow and they're getting plenty of nutrients, I would say. I'm very pleased with how the plants did over the cold weather. We just put a bathroom heater in each bed and sealed up the greenhouse, and they did just fine. You need to see my sweet banana pepper over here though. That sweet banana pepper is growing like crazy. Look at that. Another day or so it'll be hitting the ground there. Once I get the tomatoes and the peppers trellised in the first bed, I'm going to have to raise this one up. I'll do it one hoop at a time. I'll pull all the purlin pipes out and raise it up. The sunflowers will really appreciate that, I think, because they're growing like crazy. It's time to get that plastic off and let them do what they're going to do. Oh yeah, you remember that baby cucumber? I'd say she's turning into a teenager there. Look at that. On the other end of the smaller greenhouse, or the smaller height greenhouse, we planted some more Russian mammoth sunflowers on the ends. We did that so we could run pole beans up them. We planted the sunflowers and the pole beans at the same time. You can see where the sunflowers are right here, and then the pole beans are next to it. And we also put pole beans in next to our corn we planted, and as you can see, those Kentucky Wonder beans are getting with it. And the corn is starting to come along as well. But I think I'm going to have to put some stakes down for the beans until that corn gets big enough. Let them run over onto it. Well, it's not all sunshine and roses. We do have failures. That's part of being a gardener. I had to get those watermelons in the ground because they had just been in those 20-ounce cups way too long. Connecticut field pumpkins doing okay. It made it through the cold. The watermelon, it's not as happy. I gave it some water this morning. We'll see if it bounces back. But I think I'm going to be replanting those. We didn't have heat over here. We just we took some big containers, flipped them upside down, and put a burlap bag over them. And they didn't fare as hot. The cantaloupe made it a little bit better. It's still growing. I planted 8 around the base of the teepee, knowing that, you know, if I lose a couple, I'll still have, you know, plenty of plants to go. The ground cherries are doing pretty good. This one over here is just getting really prolific and getting big. But that's where we stand on that. Radishes are so much fun to grow. They germinate fast and then boom, man, they get with it. Last year it was the first thing we planted and the first thing we harvested. And we're starting to get some iceberg lettuce in too over here in this section right here. Well, I may as well show y'all how I'm trellising with the string here. I'm just using some garden twine. This stuff is really only good for about 1 season, but it'll get the job done. I was going to staple my string to this, but my staple gun didn't have enough oomph to it. So, I always have a little flexibility. I'm just going to tie it off here, and it works real good doing that. Tie off the string, and now we'll run it up. I'm just going to run it up here to the purlin. I'm going to come down a good little ways and cut it off right there. That way I got room to grow on. Next thing I'm going to do is wrap it over, and kind of like when we were doing the building the metal conduit trellises, I'm just going to give it a little wrap like that. Wrap like that. I'm going to double it back over here, run it back through, and we're good to go. Now the next thing is to just take a trellis clip or 2 and bring it on up. You see these little teeth right here? You want your string right in there, and those teeth will grab the string and hold on to it, and then you got plenty of room for your plant stem. So that's what we're going to do here. Oh yeah, this bad boy needs a good pruning. I haven't done enough suckering on these yet. Boy, does it show. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just prune these off up to the first one here. That, right, my friends, is a sucker. That is one heck of a sucker. Wow. There's another sucker right here. Well, you can't see it. Anywhere you have a leaf come off in the main stem and you got a shoot going, that's a sucker. If you want to single stem it, you just take them and pull them off. That thing is so big, I think I might root that in some compost and get extra plants. When my Rutgers get done later, since they're determinate, they're all pretty much going to come off at the same time. If I've got some better boys ready to go, then I can have more indeterminate tomatoes. So I'm probably going to go get me a cup and take care of that. This is a sucker too. Good Lord. I took the lower leaf off here, right here. This whole thing right here is a sucker, and it just grows right into a new stem. And it'll suck the energy from your plants if you leave them. You want to on determinate tomatoes, because like I said, they're only going to produce a certain number of fruit and then they're done. That's it. But with indeterminate tomatoes, if you pull the suckers, you'll get more energy to your blossoms. Boy, look at that. That's a beautiful cluster of blossoms going right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Well guys, that's it for the update for now. That's how I'm taking care of the tomatoes, and everything's growing pretty good except for those watermelon. Here in the next couple of days, I'm going to get to a video I've been planning on making a gigantic compost tea barrel and how I'm going to do that. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget, our subscriber contest is still going on. You've got until the 31st of May to get your postcard in. I've got a previous video, a few videos back. I'm also going to post a link in the description, or not a link, but the address where you can send your postcard to get in on the contest. All kinds of neat goodies, including trellis clips, an air pump for compost tea, and a bunch of other stuff. Check the other video that I made on the subscriber contest, and you'll see exactly what all is being offered. And good luck with that. I may go shoot some video of all the different postcards I've gotten in from all over, and if I do, I'll insert it right here. Guys, this is Reaganite71. Thank you for joining us. Have a great spring, and keep on gardening.